Ever get that feel, that feeling like someone's peeking over your shoulder in the checkout line?
Oh,
Well, how about this? Someone's watching your online shopping cart, just waiting to raise the price.
yeah.
Okay, maybe that's a little paranoid, but today we're diving into a world where it's not that far off. Get ready for AI surveillance pricing.
Yeah, and you know what? It's both fascinating and concerning at the same time. We're not talking about your typical supply and demand pricing anymore.
Right, not even close.
This is about AI that can analyze your every digital move to personalize prices in real time.
We've got this Scientific American article that really digs into it. In fact, it even talks about how the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, is now looking into these practices. So we're not talking about some far-off sci-fi scenario here.
Sure.
This is real, and it's happening right now.
Absolutely. And what's remarkable is the sheer amount of data that these companies are using. Think about it. Your age, location, even your browsing history, all fed into algorithms trying to understand you better than you might understand yourself.
So let me see if I get this straight. Imagine you're up late, browsing for that perfect coffee maker online, right? You've been clicking through different models, comparing features, maybe even checking out some reviews.
And unbeknownst to you, the website's AI is watching and taking notes.
Oh, no, really?
It might be registering your late night shopping habits. Maybe you're more likely to, impulse buy at that hour, or it might recognize a pattern of you purchasing higher priced goods.
Oh.
Suddenly that coffee maker seems a touch more expensive than it did a few hours ago. That's wild. So it's like the algorithm is saying, we see you're really into this coffee maker, so we're going to just bump up the price a tad.
In a way, yeah, that's exactly what's happening. But to be fair, personalized pricing in itself isn't new. I mean, think about, bargaining at a local market. The vendor might adjust their price based on how much they think you're willing to pay.
Yeah, that's true. Or even just the different prices you see at the movie theater, depending on if you're a student, senior, or adult.
Right, exactly.
Eggs?
The key difference with AI, though, is the scale and, frankly, how invisible it all is. These algorithms are constantly analyzing data, tweaking prices in a way that, well, it's nearly impossible to detect for the average person. And that's where the whole surveillance thing comes in. And it sparks some debate, even within the FTC, about whether that word is too strong or not. I can see why.
Yeah.
Because on one hand, some level of personalization can actually be beneficial, right?
Sure.
The article even gives the example of personalized discounts. Maybe you're more likely to switch to a competitor, so a company will offer you a lower price to, keep your business.
Exactly. So there's potential there for more dynamic pricing and even in some cases, fairer pricing. However, and this is important, this all hinges on how transparent these practices are and how much control consumers have over their own data.
And that is where it gets really interesting, because in this day and age, we're leaving a trail of data everywhere we go online.
Oh, absolutely.
It's kind of unnerving.
It's like we're leaving a trail of digital breadcrumbs everywhere, and these companies are more than happy to follow them.
It really is. It's almost overwhelming to stop and think about it. Every click, every purchase, it all just, adds up. What are some of the data points we're unknowingly giving away?
Well, think about your smartphone. It tracks your location constantly.
Right.
Every website you visit is logged in your browsing history.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's social media, likes, shares, even how long you watch certain videos.
All adding up, yeah.
It paints a pretty detailed picture of you as a consumer.
And once those companies have that data,
Yeah.
their AI can use it in ways that we might not even realize, right?
Exactly. And this is where the line between what's useful personalization and, well, maybe intrusion starts to get a little blurry. The article even talks about how some companies are actually experimenting with AI-powered pricing in physical stores now,
Oh, really?
using digital price tags that change based on who is looking at the product.
Wait, hold on. Seriously, digital price tags changing right there in front of me. That feels like something out of a futuristic movie.
I know, right? It does, doesn't it?
It does.
But it really illustrates how this technology is moving beyond the screen and right into our everyday lives. And it raises some important questions about transparency and control for the consumer.
Okay, so transparency and control, those great buzzwords, but what do they actually mean in this context? What can we as consumers actually do about any of this?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The FTC's investigation, that's definitely a step in the right direction. They could push for stricter regulations, demand more transparency from companies using these algorithms, maybe even, establish some ground rules for how this type of AI can be used in pricing.
Okay, so more transparency, meaning knowing what data is being collected and how that data is being used to determine prices. That makes sense, but are there any steps we can take on an individual level?
Absolutely. I mean, being an informed consumer is like key here. Start by really paying attention to the prices that you're seeing.
Yeah?
Do they seem to fluctuate a lot? Are you noticing any patterns? It's also a good idea to compare prices from different sellers.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to shop around both online and in physical stores.
Right. So it almost sounds like we need to become savvier shoppers, more aware of the pricing games that might be happening behind the scenes.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask questions. I mean, if you feel like a price is unfair, or if you're uncomfortable with how a company is using your data, speak up. Let them know that you're paying attention.
Because in a world where AI is increasingly, calling the shots, knowledge and awareness are our best defense.
Couldn't agree more.
It's almost like we're in this constant digital chess match, always trying to anticipate the algorithm's next move.
Yeah, it really is like that. And, it brings up this fascinating thought. What if we could use AI to, fight back?
Oh, now there's a thought. Instead of being at their mercy, what if we had our own AI to help us find those amazing deals?
It's not as far-fetched as it sounds. I mean, imagine write an app that analyzes your spending habits, tracks every price change, and then boom, it alerts you when there's a bargain.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you're saying it could even negotiate prices for us.
It could. It really could.
So we're talking about a future where it's AI versus AI battling it out for our wallets.
Yeah, it's a definite possibility. And it just highlights how important it is for us as consumers to stay informed and adapt. As this technology changes, we got to change with it.
So to wrap things up, it seems like this whole world of AI-powered pricing is, well, pretty complex.
It is.
There's potential for good, right? But also some real concerns about fairness, transparency, and, our digital privacy.
I couldn't agree more. It's a conversation that's not going away anytime soon. And the more we know about how AI is used in pricing, the better we can navigate this whole thing.
Well said. And to leave you with something to think about, if companies are already personalizing prices with AI, how long until our entire shopping experience, what we see, what they recommend, is tailored by these algorithms? And will we even know what's happening? It really makes you think. Until next time, stay curious, everyone.